Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Horn Dawgs podcast. I am Jonathan Cerda Rowell.
And I'm Steve, Big Hern, Get Him Again, Hernandez. Boy, has our ship come in. This is the week. I don't know if you could tell last week, but Jonathan was in the depths. He was sunken so low. It was so sad. But his check is coming. We should have just been talking about it on the podcast.
But I didn't know the good thing was going to happen, so it was too real.
Okay, yeah.
To fill you guys in, I was quickly running out of money, and I was doing everything I could to earn some extra money, and then the day after.
When was the last time you got a check for TV writing? How long have you been stretching that out?
September was my last residual.
All right, since September, so.
And it's the end of January now.
Yes. So I don't know if you're like me.
I don't know if you guys can count. Okay.
I don't know how you do it because I've been out of a job. I think the most I've been out of a job. This is why I don't want to get into TV writing. This is why, you hear all this glamorous success. This man has written TV shows. He's made a large amount of money for like 3 months of work, but then you have to make it. That's what they don't tell you. That's what they struck for, is that you got to make it last for like a year or a year and a half or 5 or 6 months without a job. And the most I've ever been without a job is 1 month after I got fired at TGI Fridays for sexual harassment.
What did you do?
I did not really sexually harass someone.
You're a pig. You're a fucking pig.
No. It was a guest.
I stand with women.
It was a guest. I don't know if I've talked about this on a podcast before. At Cal Poly Pomona, that's right by the West Covina TGI Fridays, where I worked for 6 months. They have a prominent, nationally known restaurant and hotel management school there. And so they would always come in, like a group of 10 or 12 of them, wearing these fucking checkered chef pants, their chef smocks, and they would drink and eat or whatever. And I had what's that word when you kind of like a feisty relationship with someone? A contentious relationship with them, because they were going to school for restaurant hotel stuff, but they always acted so smart, and they would ask like stupid. A guy would go like, "What should I get tonight?" And I go, "Oh, I love this grilled chicken sandwich," and then he'd go, "Yeah, right. I know how much money the restaurant's making off of this."
Oh, brother. It's like, who cares?
And I'm
dude?
like, I don't give a shit about that. You asked me what the fuck I like here. I just told you that. They just thought they're always trying to catch me on things and stuff, but I was a good server. And then one time, they came in, and there'd be 10 or 12 of them. And then in the middle of me serving them, my manager, a little Asian woman, came up to me and she said, "Steve, I got to send you home." And I said, "What for?" She's like, "The table said you sexually harassed them." And I was like, "Oh, fuck." I was like, don't get me wrong. I sexually harass my coworkers furiously all the time. I'm a monster, but I would never do this to guests, man. And so I was just like, okay, I don't think I did. I can't even think of it. So they transferred the table, and then this guy's closing me out. This mean gay guy, I forget his name, but if you West Covina TGI Fridays, you know who I'm talking about. And then he was like looking at me and like counting my money out and stuff like that. And I was like, I didn't sexually harass them. I don't know what I didn't say anything crazy to them at all. And then he was like, Did you tell them that they look? Did you tell them that they look good in their pants? And I was like, yeah, I probably said that. I was like, but they're chef pants. You've seen chef pants, right?
Yeah.
They're disgusting.
They're big and baggy. They are not sexual.
Nobody looks good in these pants.
No.
So I'm sure I said, damn, you guys look like really good in your pants. Very sexy or something like that. These are college kids, mind you.
Well, college kids have proven to always, and no matter what generation, people push it on the Gen Zs, but
Yeah.
these must have been millennials or Gen Xs when you
Millennials, yeah.
but old millennials too.
Yeah, that works.
So they were sensitive about that shit.
I mean, I don't even know if I said sexy. I'm sure I said you guys look really good in your pants or something like that. Because like I said, I would give it to them. They would give it to me. These are college kids. I was, 27 at the time, something like that. And
the reality is, Steve is like, I love how I can see your pussy right through those pants, girl. Damn, lips are popping.
Now, with that said, I like sexually harassed like so many people at my job. I was doing like weird like stuff with coupons and stuff. I deserve to get fined for $1,000. Which that's my thing too. Is you what are we talking? Oh, we were talking about something else. We can't talk about the podcast. But if you've like done enough awful stuff at your job and you get fired, just take the hit, man. You don't have to fight it. I didn't fight it that much. I think I did fight it because it didn't make any sense. But there was a new manager that was trying to get mad at me. I had too much power. It's all regular shit like that.
Oh, not me. I'll make a scene. I'll stand up like Sally Fields in that movie, Scream Union.
No, we got a new manager, and I'd been there long enough. I had all these great sections. He needed me. He wanted me. I had a beard, and he wanted me to shave it for no reason and just have a mustache. And I was just like, what? Why? Well, this is not even in the manual. And he's like, oh, I just think that it's the right thing to do. And I was just like, no.
Because was this in the 2000s?
Yeah, it was an older Mexican dude. It was like he was very like.
It was because they were like, it's not good optics. The subtext is, it's not good optics to have a brown guy that's as dark as you, especially to have a big beard, and it's 2007.
Yeah,
so we can't have that.
I promise you. I believe it was probably something like that.
Yeah.
So, but I took the hit, and then I remember this is when I was still with my ex, and she was living in Rowland Heights, and I remember I would go like I was sad. I'd spend the night, but then I got a job at the Claim Jumper in Arcadia, and I just never looked back. But you are able to not have the job, and I know you've had 100 jobs since I've known you. You'll take the worst job you can just to make money, and that's good. That's an admirable quality. Yeah, that's an admirable quality. But
it's my Mexican blood.
This was getting scary. You were getting sad. It is scary to not have money.
Yes. And that's why Steve wanted to talk about it before the last podcast, and I was like, no, because I didn't know when the check was going to come. So
I don't know if I wanted to talk about it. I just don't. I know money stuff is very sensitive for people, so I'm not like. Yeah,
well, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, kind of. You're a TV writer. That's not embarrassing. There's millions, at least thousands of people that would, for even the brief experience that you've had, would die for that experience.
Oh, absolutely. I'm very grateful for it. But I knew a check was coming. You just don't know exactly what day or what part of the month it's going to come. You just know like around this time it's going to come. And I heard the plop on the steps outside of my apartment.
How much money were you down to?
I'm not going to tell you that. but it was not looking good for my expenses and my debt and my rent and everything I needed to pay for.
Yeah.
So I hear the plop and I push open the door, push open the gate, and I see that green...
So wait a minute, you're checking every day.
Yes. Yeah. And I see that green envelope because it's a green colored envelope.
Yeah.
And it's sitting on the ground where my mailman just loves to throw my mail like I'm just a common whore. And I ran out.
I'm sorry, where's this mail at?
Right
Your
out
front
there.
door?
Right out
there. He
there.
just leaves it on the front door?
Yeah, he just leaves it on the front door.
Okay.
And I run out, and in front of my neighbors, in front of the neighbors across the way, I fall to my knees and I rip open the green check in front of everyone. And it's the middle of the day, sun shining on me. And I open it and I look at the check and I just go, yes! And I just scream. And my boyfriend came. He was working. He's on a work call. He comes and we hug.
Yeah.
As if we've been told that finally we're going to get to adopt a child. And it was so happy. And I just, I'm happy now,
Now, this buys you another, what, 5 months? 4 months?
4 months.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, I mean, everything could change in 4 months.
Oh, yeah, it could be dead in 4 months.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We speaking of dead, you had a cousin tragically pass away.
Yeah, my cousin Georgie, real name Jorge, but we call him Georgie, Jorge Jose Cerda, passed away. Tragic, don't want to go into all those details and bum everyone out, but he was 47, about to be 48, and his funeral was beautiful, buried in the same cemetery as my grandparents, and it was absolutely devastating. Everyone in my family was there, and they do the whole thing, and then they pallbear him. The hearse takes him up to the burial site, and
were you asked to be a pallbearer?
No, because I wasn't as close.
Okay.
No. I have been a pallbearer for other people in my family, but not for this. And
Now,
I love sitting on the sidelines for this funeral.
I want you to think about the pallbearers. Is there anyone that you think, oh, I could have done a better job than that guy?
Like 4 or 5 people. A lot of out of shape guys. Definitely don't lift, And there's always a pallbearer who gets asked to step aside, sir, by the funeral management, and they'll have like a professional come and do it.
Yeah, that happened to
that happened. But the best one was my grandfather's funeral in 2016.
Yeah.
Someone in my extended family who no one likes, who's very fat, couldn't fit between the coffin and the wall where we were taking the coffin down because he was so fat, and he got caught, and my grandpa didn't really ever like him, so it was like a curse. And then someone told him to please step aside, and he tripped down the stairs.
Incredible.
It's incredible. And it's silent because everyone's like, I mean, we want to laugh. We can't laugh right now.
I want you guys to know, too, because Jonathan had told me about this guy before. They hated him simply because he was fat.
No, that's not why.
This is a good guy. But to watch a fat man roll down the stairs during a funeral.
Oh, my family loves fat people.
Is that true?
Yes, they would love you. They hate this guy for his choices.
Okay.
But
can you name one bad choice that he did?
I could name numerous.
Just give us one, please.
Actually, asking people very personal questions at Christmas dinner.
Okay.
Like about their money and stuff. He's not blood related to anyone. Right? So maybe you would be someone who they actually would grow to not like after a while. But so at the funeral, where the coffin's getting ready to be cranked into the ground. It's a gorgeous day, beautiful view of the entire city. He could not have been laid to rest in the more amazing place.
What place was this?
Forest Lawn, Glendale.
Oh, yeah.
High
gorgeous.
view, expensive plot.
Yeah.
Right? So his mom, my cousin's mother, hears that the funeral director, who's this lanky, skinny, awkward white guy with a mustache, very professional, did his job great. She hears someone else who worked at the funeral told her that it was also his birthday today. And it had just my cousin Georgie, who's passed, who's lying dead in the coffin. It's his birthday also just passed. He would have been 48. He died right before his birthday. We sang him in the church "Happy Birthday" while he was before he was taken in the hearse.
You sang Georgie,
my cousin, "Happy Birthday."
Dead cousin, happy birthday. Okay.
So right before, up at the gravesite, right before Georgie's cranked into the ground, she turns to the family and she says, so sweet, very sweet, by the way. She says, everyone, it's this, and she turns, because she doesn't remember his name, the funeral director's birthday today. So before we crank Georgie into the ground, why don't we all sing happy birthday for him? Now he goes, no. He's confused as to why anyone would want this. And we all are looking around like, are we going to sing this stranger happy birthday? So we do. She goes 1, 2, 3. We all go happy birthday, and
it's for Georgie's mom, right? She's like out of her mind right now. Right?
She's like out of her mind.
Yeah.
Now he looks like he wants to die. He wants someone to shoot him execution style and bury him in an unmarked grave because he's so embarrassed.
Yes.
And very professional. After we sang this like unenthusiastic happy birthday, Georgie's in the coffin behind him, ready to get cranked, and he goes, "Oh, thank you guys very much, but I think we should just keep everything focused on the joy that Jorge brought to everyone's life." It was very professional, but the entire time, he's a white guy, beet red. He's so red. It was very cute. Yeah.
I don't. Did you ever get into 6 Feet Under?
No, I was too young.
You should watch it.
I know.
It's like one of the best.
Good?
Yeah. It's like top 5 television shows of all
Created
time.
by that gay guy, Alan Ball, right?
Yeah, and there's a gay storyline in there that like helped me accept gay people.
It helped you stop killing them?
No, but it helped me stop. It's so funny because when you think about art, like in art changing people. Yeah, exactly. That's what I think.
Think about art.
Except that this is an instance where personally in my life, because I was still Christian, and I never thought that gay. I always felt bad for gay people. But I knew they were sinning. I just thought it was fucked up. Right. Like a thing for God to do, to make people this way, and then that was their cross to bear. I always felt that was pretty fucked up. But you know,
God's a hermaphrodite.
yeah, that's not true. Nobody believes that.
Absolutely.
No.
Yes.
But I always thought, you know, it sucks they got to go to hell, but I get it, you know.
Hell sounds fun, bitch.
But this show really helped me like to understand like gay guys like being romantic and in love with each other because one of the sons is gay. What's his name? David falls in love with this beautiful black man named Keith, who's a cop.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen pictures of him?
No.
He's like, I mean, Keith is like.
Wait, is this who plays the gay guy? Is it Freddie Rodriguez or who's Freddie Rodriguez?
Freddie Rodriguez is an employee at the funeral home. David is played by Michael C. Hall, Dexter.
Ooh, okay, cool.
And David, I'm sorry, I know this is. You're gonna love this. I know this is on a podcast, but maybe this is why you should.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get to see an easily Googleable picture.
Look at this fool
of an actor on a. Yeah, he's all right.
Okay.
He's not my type.
This beautiful black man.
I don't know how beautiful he is in that picture. At least he's fine.
Fine.
He's
like
fine.
Junior high fine. Fine.
He's not fine.
Everybody thinks he's hot. He's like super sexy. Maybe you got to watch the show.
Yeah, maybe I do because that picture was like a grainy picture on a Motorola Razr, which you just showed me. So maybe it didn't do him justice.
Let me T9 this to you. No, but they were a very sexy relationship. But that was the first time and the whole first season of 6 Feet Under too. David's like pleading with God, like, why did you make me like this? And I was like, dude, I'm in. It like just made me think of like gay people as people. That's pretty good, right?
That's so pathetic. That made me lose a little respect for
No, you haven't seen the show.
But that's not the point.
No, it is the point. There are things like that. Art does move people to change like that.
For sure. Yeah. It's just sad that it does. You know what I mean? It's sad that you didn't get there on your own is what I'm saying.
No.
You had to have Alan Ball do some amazing screenwriting for you to get there.
And actually, True Blood, he did it again for this too.
Okay, True Blood, my theory about that is he was on meth for those 7 years. And he was just writing whatever.
Did you watch True Blood?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that you've seen True Blood and not 6 Feet Under.
Because I was at the right age. I was at the horny age where I needed to see True Blood. And you know who I loved from True Blood? And it was a daddy thing because I was a teenager when it came out.
Yeah.
Dennis O'Hare, who played Russell Edgington.
The sheriff?
The Southern vampire who's like the ancient vampire who's gay and who goes on the news and goes, I will eat your children.
He's like 50, right?
Yes, and I thought he was so hot, even as a teenager, because he was this dom little gay vampire, and there was something really sexy about him being like the most powerful, and yet he was a gay guy. I loved that. It wasn't about him physically.
Remember, we're gonna run a poll on the thing. I want him versus Keith from 6 Feet Under. Who's sexier?
Guys, but you're not accounting for the energy of the person.
I am. I've seen both shows. You have not seen both shows.
Okay, well,
and I don't. Normally I hate cops, but a sexy black cop, gay cop, that to me is like porn. That strikes porn.
It does sound like porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and well, he made both shows, so I haven't begun to wrap my head around the concept of death. I don't know if I ever will. Do people make themselves like think about it a lot when people die?
I always think about death all the time. You don't?
No. I don't. I just think when someone dies, there's so many people, and I think it's because my life is so big, or modern times your life is so big, so so many hundreds of people. Mm-hmm. So there's sometimes some of my favorite people on the planet, I won't see them but once a year or something like that.
Right.
So when someone dies, to me, a lot of times it's like, it's just like I'm not seeing them yet.
Right.
I haven't seen, I miss my Antoinette. I love her to death, but sometimes I'd see her 3 or 4 times a year as I got older. When you're in 20s and you're a man, you don't give a fuck about anyone.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just like, I'm not seeing them yet. And to me, that seems like almost, not that I'm a Buddhist or, so forward thinking, but that is really what's happening. I don't believe in heaven. I don't believe in an afterlife, but also I think there's a good chance, I don't know, we'll all run into each other again.
I don't know about that. I think they're dead.
But then I'll be dead, and it won't matter, right?
It won't matter, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think that there could be something after death, but I think if there is, it's something that we can't even fathom. And it could be even that there is life after death, but there's no consciousness.
Yes.
Because it's just the energy that moved us leaves our body.
Yes.
But there's no consciousness because there's no like brain synapses. So it's just like raw energy, you know?
My favorite kind of energy.
Yeah. So maybe we did have past lives. You just, of course, you could never remember because it's just, you're just getting like the electricity from someone else. Like, who do you think, what other person do you think is powering your body from the past? Like, what if your body's powered by a former Nazi? You'd never know.
Not Nazis. I do feel like I have a lot of old, like just a lot of old people who worked in the fields.
Like peasants.
Yeah.
Like indigenous and mestizo peasants from the colonial era.
Yes. I don't,
Yeah.
these people who think they were like famous or big people, I know how innately lazy I am. I know how innately stupid I am. And I know, you know, it could be argued that I'm not these things, but I know. I'm the one I'm in me all the time. I know.
You are inside you all the time.
Sneaky
Yes.
and, you know, sneaky, trying to get away with things. That's what's interesting about having the baby now is I really try my best when, you know, my conscience tells me to do something or to get up and to go to her or to get up. I really do my best to try to listen, but there's everything in me. It's so funny. I feel like masculine, like all the things, like when dads and stuff just checked out before. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But there's every time it tells me to, I mostly always acknowledge, okay, get up and go do the thing. Which I feel like I've been pretty good about that stuff, right, Julia? Even if I go stand by her or I hear them in the room, I try to walk her around or do something. Obviously, I can't do that much because I do not have milk coming out of my breasts yet. I heard from Kat Eves. You know Kat, right? She's a fashion stylist. I saw her at Alec Castillo's birthday party, and she wasn't there for Alec. She was just there, and she said that there have been times, and I don't know if this is true, that men can have the ability to breastfeed.
I told you that in 2 podcasts ago that men could lactate.
Do we know if this is true?
Yes, hormonal imbalances can make men lactate.
No. But I think when she said it,
It's called getting bitch tits.
Yeah. I know that's true, but I'm talking about for a baby.
Oh,
That if she might have been fucking with me.
I think she was fucking.
But you know, in times like if a mother dies and then you just baby.
You're not a
Human body is incredible.
no. You're not a frog. Okay, frogs basically, if there's like fish where if there's too many males or too many females in a pond,
Yeah.
and they can't reproduce successfully, several of the males or females will turn into the other gender naturally because they have that spongy body.
Yeah.
Right? They just grow a pussy or grow a cock or whatever. And then suddenly like Brenda's Brian, he's like, "Hey, what's up?" You know?
The frog.
Yeah.
Brenda
yeah.
the frog.
Yeah. And that they're hermaphroditic, you know, reproductive cycles or whatever the fuck. I don't know. But you're not a frog. You're a human man. And you can't do that unless you have some serious hormonal imbalances. Also, I don't think it would be nutritionally. I feel like if a baby drunk from a lactating man's tit, that's equivalent of feeding Mountain Dew to a child. There's no nutritional value.
Okay. I'll go with that. I think Cat Eves might have been fucking with me.
Yeah. I mean, whoever that was, I think she was fucking with you.
But you know, since we're talking about this, we speak about life here on Horn Dawgs in one hand,
I'm currently lactating.
death, and then now we speak of life.
Yeah.
And I finally drank Julia's breast milk.
Oh my God.
Yes, it's real.
This just in.
Yeah.
KCAL 9, news at 10.
She had come from something. We hadn't, a lot of times you got to plan when you're having sex, when you're so busy and stuff like that. She had come from something, the baby was sleeping. We had time. We had a few hours. I was like, take off those clothes. Let's get rocking. And, I bring her close to me. And, to be honest, Julie, I'm going to say this. I just miss sucking your tits, I had to get over it.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You did this, which gives the impression that you held Julia like a baby. Is that it?
I don't know what I did that for. Subscribe on YouTube to watch the action.
Did you hold him like a baby, or did
hold on, let me ask you a question. Were you surprised when I went for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
or was he just sucking your tits like normal straight guy sucking tits?
I mean,
Yeah, just normal.
Just like right in front, just all over your tits.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it starts coming out right away.
Wow.
Yeah,
What did it taste like?
It's sweet.
Like oat milk or almond milk?
Probably a little sweeter than oat milk, but not too not too different than
Like a coconut milk?
not that gross cum texture. No.
Okay. Like a rice milk.
Yeah, like horchata.
Yeah, it's truly like horchata.
Give me some horchata, mom.
Yeah, it truly is like horchata. That's the best. Yeah.
Not the cinnamon, but
No
it's
cinnamon.
sweet.
Horchata without cinnamon. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I just very animalistic, just turned her towards me.
Yeah.
And just started sucking, and it was coming out. I was drinking of her. You know, she was feeding me.
Blood of my blood.
Drink of me. Yeah.
Did you feel immediately smarter? Did you feel younger? Did you feel more virile immediately?
All of those things.
Wow. I mean, because breast milk has a lot of magical properties.
I think this was the first time where we had sex where we kind of did all the usual stuff.
Oh, you had sex?
Yeah, I mean, after that, I didn't just stop. I didn't get my fill and walk away.
Oh, I thought you guys just went to go get a burger or something.
I was like, and I was like, go shower off, you stupid bitch. I'm just wiping my mouth with all the thing. Yeah, it is so. I'm sure I have a bit where I'm working on this, but it is so funny. I was like, oh yeah, great titty sucking, a very sexual thing that I used to really enjoy. Now it reminds me of the breath of my daughter.
Right. I think it's interesting when you see straight porn and you see like a whole section where the guy is just sucking on those titties.
Yeah.
Like they look. I mean, maybe it's the porn performers, but they look so happy.
I think the older I get, the more, they say older guys, they become pervs and all those things. But I think something actually beautiful happens. And that's that the older you get, the more you can appreciate different aspects of women's looks or sex or different things like that. So where before I would have been, oh, that's so stupid or weird. I think that, yeah, to have the opportunity to just suck on a woman's tits for like 15 minutes, that's like a cool thing.
Steve.
Yeah.
I recently my like every 7 years I'll have like an insatiable attraction to a woman.
Yes.
It recently came up again.
Who was the lucky person?
Claire Foy.
Claire
It's
Foy.
always the most feminine woman.
Who's Claire Foy?
She's an actor from The
First
Crown.
queen.
The Crown.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's definitely very cute. Yeah.
Yeah. So
What were you watching?
I had been watching interviews with her in The Crown and everything, and then I had a sex dream about her, and it was yes, but
Let me ask you.
yes.
When you start watching like videos of her and stuff, did you feel the sexual feeling like start?
I felt a crush, but I thought it was just a gay boy actor type thing.
Oh,
you know what I
okay.
mean? Because how, like gay guys love women.
Yeah.
For like the standing up for themselves and like
Yeah, you
being
have that.
strong or whatever
You have
the
that
fuck.
picture of Sally Fields holding up the strike sign from what was
Exactly,
that movie?
yeah.
From Norma Ray. He's got that poster of Norma Ray in his room.
So yeah, because every 7 years I find I have like a momentary insatiable attraction to a woman. It's always a hyper feminine woman.
Okay, hold on. We got to take a break. Our cameras are running out. We'll be right back.
How dare you?
And we're back with more Horn Dawgs. Where we left off was Jonathan about to sexualize great British actor Claire Foy. Go on.
No, I was just saying that every 7 years,
Yes.
there's a certain lunar alignment that happens, I'm sure,
Mm-hmm.
that turns me for a few hours into a heterosexual man. And and the first one was this Nigerian model who I used to know in high school, and I was riding the bus with. The second one was this voluptuous Salvadoran hairdresser who was doing my hair. And then the third one, 7 years after that, is Claire Foy. And you just have this overwhelming sexual attraction that I've never, ever, ever feel towards any women. And it only occurs during these windows. And after that runs out, after just a few hours, it leaves. The juice leaves. And then I'm back to being a full-blown gay.
So you had a sex dream about her.
Yes. And they always manifest as sex dreams. Like very, very, like horny teenage sex dreams.
Yeah.
Like you wake up and you're uncomfortably hard.
You don't remember like any surrounding things. You were just fucking her.
I respect Claire Foy too much. I can't even get into the details of it because she's such a good actor. I don't want to give the details, but it was a sex dream.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You remember looking into her eyes during it?
No.
You don't?
I don't remember.
Okay,
looking
so
into
now
her
we know
eyes.
what position they were in. This fucking
No, I just didn't have a.
You're having a sex dream about a woman and you still got to fuck her from the back? Come on, bro.
I did.
Her little skinny white ass.
I just didn't gaze into her eyes like a homosexual. That's your thing.
Yeah, I like to gaze into a woman's eyes when I'm fucking her. Yeah. Cat's out of the bag, folks.
But this is what I'm saying. I think that there are many straight men who have these similar things, but the opposite with men.
Yeah.
Where every like 10 years, maybe they see a guy that they go, whoa, I'm actually very sexually attracted to them. And then they get all confused and they go, am I gay? Am I gay? And they only liked it for that certain time or that time that they were away or at college or with that guy. And then they go back to loving women. And it's like, you're not gay. It's just something happens in us where our body goes, I want something different right now.
Yeah.
And that's it, you know?
Yeah, I'm into that. Well, I think it's, I hate to sound like a fucking conservative freak, but I think identity stuff is so important to people right now in a weird, stupid, fucked up way that people call themselves these things. But I don't know, like I've called myself queer. I might not never fuck a guy. Except, I'm telling you, if I was having group sex, I would love to suck a guy's cock. I just don't want to.
What's your ideal cock? If you had your druthers, what type of cock would you get? Like, so it's a pretty busy. It's a bi-friendly orgy, right?
Yes.
So there's lots of heterosexual sex, but you also see some homosexual sex.
I haven't had enough sex. I haven't all the sex I've had with guys has been like either drunken or rushed or anything. I've never had, so I couldn't tell you what I like. Like I don't think I've sucked a small dick, if I think about it. It's all been pretty average or big.
Right.
Yeah. But I remember I did have sex with a guy.
What's the biggest cock you've sucked, Steve?
Pretty big.
Like how big would you estimate?
Like this.
Whoa.
That's big.
That's big.
Like a 10 inch or something.
That's big.
I can think of this black guy that came over to my house.
That's too big.
A long time. Yeah.
Me.
And I was like working it for a while and it was just, he wasn't coming. I mean,
oh yeah, some guys don't come.
Yeah.
And you're probably not great at blowjobs.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
Yeah.
not. Yeah. I think it takes time. It takes work.
Yeah, it really does.
But I remember this one guy had a real perfect dick, and I went over his house maybe about 4 or 5 times. He lived in Azusa.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the stuff, it was so long ago, I forget like how it happened initially. But I remember this is like the most perfect dick. It was a little bigger. It's probably 7.5 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I love sucking it. I love getting fucked by it. And he was like, it would like happen so infrequently. You could tell he probably didn't like me that much that I was like bottom of the list.
Yeah.
But I still didn't mind.
No, that's fine. Yeah. That's fine. You got a golden ratio.
Yeah.
Cock.
Yeah.
You have to take advantage of it, you know?
Yeah. But yeah. So maybe I'm that way.
I think you should just, because you say like, oh, I don't want to bring diseases back. But if you just do oral, especially if you know the person and you guys get tested, you could do it.
Ideally, I think Julia would be into this. You would be into having sex with like a few different couples, like long term, right? Yeah. See, right? Ideally, something like that is what my ideal would be.
Yeah.
Like, because I really do like, I don't like this anonymous stuff. Even with women, it just doesn't really do that much for me.
Yeah.
But if I had like long-term relationships and stuff, I think that would be cool.
Right.
Vacation, Palm Springs, think about it. And drop us a line if that sounds interesting to you. I'm just kidding.
If any listeners want to engage in sexual relations with Steve at a local orgy, DM us, Instagram.
I wonder if there's, I always assume when you think about fucking a couple, I always assume that I'm like that people are like, I want to get at Julia, but not Steve. Like, I'll put up with Steve.
Yeah, you're definitely, if I had to choose between the two, you're definitely the one that goes, oh, God. I guess I have to really pretend,
Yeah, that's
that I
sad.
took those theater courses,
Yeah. I want these people that are into us as a couple,
Yes.
okay? Look at what we both bring to the table. Yes, Julia has a perfect body, a beautiful, interesting face, a gorgeous laugh. I can go on and on, but
you know what you need?
Yeah.
You need a couple where the guy has a similar shape to you, but also different enough to that it's exciting for Julia.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'm sure she doesn't. That's what's cool about a chick who's with a fat guy is that you're like, this chick's up for anything.
Did you ever see that? That I think it was the pilot of Perry Mason on HBO, where I think it was like he was supposed to be playing an old silent movie star, and it was this big fat guy. Who was the big fat old silent movie star?
It's like Fatty Arbuckle.
Yeah,
Fatty
yeah,
Arbuckle.
something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Well,
Literally fatty.
fatty. Well, he was very, very, very fat.
Yeah.
And the Perry Mason, the guy got some like incriminating pictures of him just giving oral to this beautiful slender model that was covered in cake and food and chicken pot pie. It was like a fat man's dream.
Chicken pot pie.
And then yeah.
You made that one up.
No, it was a feast of all these different types of food.
Okay.
And she was like, yeah,
Yeah.
And then he runs out with all his like his jiggles and all his fat. But I don't know if it's the actor's real dick. It's probably prosthetic. But it was like a massive fat guy cock.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Well,
And
I don't have that.
well, but
I can get the cake. And the pot pie.
That's why you spring for the baguette.
Yeah.
You bring it along with you.
If I get famous, which it's a long shot still, but it could still happen. I could see myself taking off as a character actor still. That's gonna work. But if you get famous, then nobody cares if you're fat at all.
No, especially if you're a man and you're a character actor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We need you're the whale. We need you to. We need.
Does it have to be a whale?
Yes, it does. It needs to be a tight shot of your face going, I just know that love is the most important thing in life. And I just have to. Like,
I won't watch it. It's so funny though. My brother Danny, my brother, and Jaime from Chatterbox, they both said, "Man, it's really good." Joey, my brother, both said like it's touching, and I'm like, I can't watch it.
It was a little to me.
Oh, did you see it?
Yes, it was a little hard to get through, but I think that a lot about Darren Aronofsky's films.
Yeah, I mean, I like Darren Aronofsky more than most people, but I just can't bring myself to watch that.
Yeah, it's.
I don't like to get food involved with sex. I don't like that. I mean, I barely had a rough time guzzling down horchata out of a beautiful woman's tits. Why would I want to eat cake or whipped cream or anything like that?
I guess.
It's savory. That's sweet and savory. I want just savory.
Yeah, savory during sex.
To me, pussy and sucking dick is savory.
Well, I guess that depends on who
Pounding
you're sucking.
ass is savory. That's not sweet.
Some dicks and pussies are sweet, actually.
I've literally eaten a pussy where I can't tell the whole story, but this chick was like she's a white chick, very into rap.
That's so annoying. That's so annoying because part of it.
So
is
I mean,
like,
I think they consider it a slur now.
No, but do you think
you know what slur I'm thinking of?
Yes, we know what slur.
Okay.
But can I ask you?
Yes.
Did she tell you? Did she volunteer and say, "I just to let you know, I'm really into rap"?
No. But she is the slur I'm talking about.
Okay.
A white person that wants to be black, kind of a person. And
Black talk Billie Eilish. Yeah.
You think Billie Eilish really does try to talk black?
She absolutely has. Yeah. Maybe not as much anymore, but she has this fake. All the white Gen Z kids, this is their biggest blind spot.
Yeah.
All the white Gen Z kids, they can be all about like BLM, progressive things. Like they're all in the streets protesting. They're all saying this is problematic or whatever. A lot of good stuff that they do. But the white Gen Zs, their biggest blind spot is that they still do the black scent or their attempt at it. And they'll be from like a suburb of Ohio that's mostly white, and they'll literally be talking like this. They'll be like, yeah, so like I just I think it's crazy, man. like what's going on in the world, and it's like I've just been talking to my pops and shit, and he was like, yo, you need to be careful. Yeah, like it's this crazy, and that's not even a real like black scent. That's their interpretation of it.
That's a Justin Timberlake accent.
He's one. Biebs did it. Eilish did it. Aquafina. But at least Aquafina grew up in Queens and had this raspy smoker voice.
And was able to stop doing it as soon as she started doing prestigious
things. Yeah.
Good ups on you, Aquafina.
But also, who I think, this is just my opinion on the Aquafina. I could be totally wrong.
Yeah.
But I think that Aquafina talked like that because Margaret Cho used to go into a black scent for certain characters she did in her stand-up. And I think, like, there's something about that where it sometimes can read as like, oh, that's comedy voice to go into this like sassy black woman thing. And I think that she just picked that up from other people. And then people called her on it and she was like, oh, yeah, I should stop doing that shit.
We may never know.
Yeah.
We may never know.
What if I started doing that just on the podcast and just wouldn't stop?
I think our podcast would take off. I think it would be fat. It would blow up. The fat guy and that black guy. I did watch this one porn. You told me about it. I forgot where I saw it, but I've only seen one gay porn where I was like, this is really hot. And it was between two like thicker guys. And they were like very romantically fucking.
Was it an OnlyFans? Or was
No.
Twitter porn?
It was it was on a porn site.
StockyDudes.com?
No, it was like a woman. It was like a porn. It was.
It was gay porn for women?
No, yes, on this particular site, this was just a part of it.
Yeah.
You could watch gay porn for women or romantic. It was curated for women.
Yes.
I forget the name of this site, but they did have these two guys, and that was just one scene I've seen that's hot. I don't typically go looking for it, but usually it's, I mean, I'm sure you could introduce me to good stuff, right?
I have a lot of thick guy porn.
But you might be too, like, dirty by now. It might be too much for me.
Probably.
I like romantic stuff,
You're such a faggot.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like romantic stuff. That's why I like.
I have some romantic porn.
That's why I like OnlyFans too. I feel like that's kind of romantic. Although I don't know if you know this, but it's becoming like a new thing on OnlyFans where the girls don't really like show that much pictures. They don't like do that kind of stuff or videos, but they say, but we could chat a lot.
And then they charge you for the chat.
No, I don't know. Because I have one girl who I think is like so hot that I would like. I don't think I would really want to talk to her. I just like to give them money and just like, don't talk to me. But this girl will just keep asking me like every now and then, like, hey Steve, would you like to ride me from the top or the bottom? Would you like to be on top or something like that? I'm like, I'm not talking to you.
That's crazy.
I know. I wish I had it pulled up because she just keeps asking me questions and I just don't say anything. And also, I don't believe it's. I might be wrong, but I don't believe it's her necessarily. I've heard that some of these big OnlyFans people pay somebody to just do this.
Yes, they do. They outsource to agencies, Steve.
Yeah, or agency or yeah. I don't.
The top OnlyFans women, especially.
Yeah.
They outsource the people who do their messages and stuff. They outsource to an agency.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are repped by an agency.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
CAA is getting into it. No, I'm just kidding.
That's why I don't want to take any chances. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
have you guys heard of the whole Nicki Megan thing?
I've seen that something's happening, but I have no idea what is going on. What's going on with Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion?
Well, Megan. Just some backstory. You know how Nicki is like a notorious hater of all other women in the industry.
Yes.
She's very like her and Mariah Carey are two of the biggest haters.
Yes.
If you're a woman who's succeeding, they hate you, right? They even hated each other when they worked together.
Yeah.
But then also Nicki's brother went away for, I think, pedophilia, and then her current husband did 4 years. He's a convicted rapist. And she married him anyways. So she was already kind of on the skids with her fans and a lot of people being like, this is weird. And then Nicki wrote a letter to try to lessen her brother's sentence, too.
Oh, my God.
So there was already beef between her and Megan released this. Megan's been doing all these very emotional rap songs like Cobra and stuff. But she released this other song where in it, she said something, I'm paraphrasing, something to the effect of, you guys aren't getting mad at Megan, you're mad at Megan's Law. And Nicki Minaj internalized that as a jab to her and what's going on with her brother and I guess her husband.
I'm sorry, Megan said that about Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj, that's what it's interpreted
as.
I
did hear a snippet of that. I didn't know any of that background though. Yeah.
So then Nicki just like goes crazy online and is like arguing with herself on Twitter, and Megan hadn't responded in ages.
Yeah.
And then she wrote a diss track, which at first she put out this video that was like saying, "Hey guys, I wanted to release the diss track, but I couldn't because the producer that did the beats for it actually is a really good friend of Megan Thee Stallion and won't release it to me." So she had to like find some other way to do that. So she puts out this diss track, which I think is called Bigfoot, and it's just like an absurdly large Bigfoot image with like Nicki's little boot in it, and it's it's the weakest diss track ever. It's literally calling Megan like a man. She's 6 feet. She has big feet. And it was like, yeah, but she was criticizing the choices you make as a person, which is a much more strong jab.
Yeah.
You're like doing playground shit. So there's this big beef going on, and that's basically it. And I just wanted to talk about that. I don't know if
I wish we could.
there.
I haven't had beef with someone for a long time. There's I had one guy. I have a couple of people that I always say 3. But I can't really think of the third. There was always like one guy. There's one guy right now in comedy in the LA scene that I think is so fucking annoying. But whenever I bump into him, we talk, and it's
he
like
funny
fine.
on stage.
He's not terribly. He's not unfunny. I wouldn't say that.
So he's bad. Okay.
Yeah. I think he's generally probably pretty bad. It doesn't like pain me to not book him. It doesn't pain me.
If you're already saying about someone's comedy, he's not unfunny. They're bad.
No,
They're not good.
I don't think that's necessarily true. And with this particular case, he's written some good jokes where I'm like, oh, that's funny. But there's one guy that I fucking actually absolutely hated.
Yeah.
That every time I'd be talking to someone kind of newer, I would say out of nowhere, I hate this guy, and I would name him.
Yeah.
And I would talk about him, and that guy got canceled.
Really?
Oh yeah.
How long ago? Recently?
I would say within the past year.
How? Was it something he did or something that was uncovered?
Oh, no. It was something he did. It was like pretty blatant, part of that strong part of the LA scene. And I if I got into it, I just don't want to get into it because I don't, this guy would find out that I said something.
Yeah.
And he would like sue me. This is what a fucking loser this guy is.
Oh, God.
But I'll never forget to wake up to that, someone that you have beef with, and then see that and just so
Like a big
righteously taken down.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like completely everybody know. Not too crazy. It wasn't like there wasn't any pieces written, but it was just so bad that the guy's like gone from the scene now. Nobody will talk to him. He was kind of tied to a bigger podcast. Nobody's talking about it.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, hey, if you want beef, you can always start beef with me.
Yeah.
I'm great to have beef with because I hold grudges. I won't let things go. I love text monologues. I love threats. I'll show up to your place and I know where you live. So we can have a great beef together.
I'm sure there's people. I'm sure there's a bunch of guys that hate me at Chatterbox. I like 86.2 guys on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
They're just like, I'm the only one who like puts my foot down.
Right.
Yeah. So all these like loser guys are like, and I'm like, no, you're not coming back here.
Yeah.
Some guy came in. I can't remember his name, but on Sunday, this guy walked in with 2 girls, and he had a buzz ball in his hand.
What's a buzz ball?
It's it's like a liquor drink you buy at a liquor store. It's shaped like a ball.
He brought in outside liquor.
Yes.
So no, obviously.
Well, he just comes in.
It's crazy.
And he like walks the bar. Oh, I didn't have a door guy. Frank had to go home early. So he's with 2 girls. He has this thing. He like comes enough. And Sundays, everyone's just so drunk.
Yeah.
On Sundays. So I don't take it. If I was at the door, if I was working the door and someone was at the bar and I saw him walking up, I'd say, just go home. But without a door guy behind the bar, I don't have time. I just grab it. I said, give me that. And he's like, what? And he just like gave it to me. I'm like, whatever. He ordered 3 whiskey sours.
What'd you do with it? You threw it away?
I just threw it away.
Okay. Yeah.
He orders 3 whiskey sours, and I could tell this guy's drunk. And then I go, okay, it's going to be $21 or whatever. And he's like, oh, man, the girls went. He's like, oh, my phone's in my car.
Oh, Lord.
He's like, oh, it's in my car. I'm just trying to fuck one of these hyenas right now, And I'm like,
so?
I was like, you can't pay? He's like, my phone's in the car. And I was like, fine, whatever. I don't care. So then they hang out there for like an hour or something like that. When he's leaving, he goes, did I pay my bill? And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, my phone's in my car.
Oh,
I'm going to go get it right now. And I was like, all right, man. I was like, all right. And I was like, you're going to come back right now? He's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. But he keeps like pleading to like, I'll be right back. I was like, why did you do that? I was like, this isn't that kind of, I don't. And he's like, I'm a regular here, whatever. And I'm just like, fine, whatever, go. He goes and comes back 5 minutes later. And I go, thank you. He's like, see? I'm like, yeah, this is great. Thanks. Yeah.
Thanks for
paying your bill. And he pays. And then after a little bit, he's like, hey, let me get a Corona. I'm like, sure. So I ring him up for a Corona. He pays for it. He's like, thanks, man. Thanks. You're cool. And I was like, whatever. And it's kind of busy. And especially, like I said, I'm by myself.
Yeah.
And so I watch him. He kind of goes, sits over there by the water thing. And then, like, I'm, like, doing shit. And then I look, and I see he's, like, walking out. He walks out. And I'm like, I know that motherfucker has his beer. And so he gets kind of, like, to the top of the driveway by the time I go there.
Shit.
And I said, hey. I was like, you can't take fucking beer out. And he's like, what? I was like, bring that beer back. And he's like, come get it. And I'm like, okay. And I just walk up there. And I was like, dude. I was like, you can't come back here anymore. He's like, I'm a regular. I was like,
everyone, by the way,
yeah.
Everyone at the Chatterbox thinks that they're a regular. The regulars who are regulars know who they are.
Yeah.
Everyone else is not a regular.
Yeah. I don't know this guy's name.
Of course.
I know what he looks like, but yeah. And I was like, not anymore. I was like, don't come back here.
Yeah.
You do not know how to conduct yourself. And then, before he had mentioned Joey's name too, he's like, just tell Joey. Joey will vouch for me. That's what he said. And and then he's like, I'm 86. I was like, yeah, you can't come back here. He's like, talk to your boy about that. I'm like, whatever. But this guy's so drunk too. Why did I bring this up? I was talking about something.
Because people.
These guys. So this guy, 86, another guy that night. I don't want to tell that story too. But it's just like, no, you guys are fucking losers.
Yeah.
You're losers.
I mean, also, guys, if you didn't know, I also, for a 3 or 4 month period, also worked at the Chatterbox. And
so Jonathan has a little inside. He's got inside knowledge.
Well,
about the place.
I will say it did give me a taste.
Yeah.
Of this type of behavior.
Yeah.
Because you do encounter these people, and I was running the door, and it's astounding the amount of losers and fucking pathetic men, and it is mostly men.
It's men.
Now there are some very pathetic women, but the thing about those women is because I feel more sorry for them because they stand out more.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's sad. But with the guys, you're like, some of them you just think to yourself, I hope you die screaming. I really do. I really hope you die suffering, because you are a piece of shit. And of course, if you have to say, I'm a regular, and the people at the bar who've been like Louie and Steve and all those people don't know your name.
Yeah.
You're not a regular.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
But these guys, and even just little things like asking for ID, they're so insecure as men in their masculinity. They take it as an affront to who they are. It's as if I ask them, hey, take out your dick and let me measure your dick before you get inside the bar. It's like, just show me your ID, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about your life,
But they would flip out about that, and you're obviously new at the job.
Yeah.
They can't put together the thing. Oh, this guy is brand new. He doesn't know I come here 3 times a week.
Yeah.
They couldn't possibly do that.
Oh,
but with that said, that's the business we've chosen.
I know.
This is the bar industry, okay? I always felt bad. There was this show on, it's not Discovery or something like that, but it was about this, Julie, I think you'll remember this. It was in Vegas. They had a big outdoor, like, pool party.
It's
Rehab, yeah. And they had, like, a rehab show about this Vegas outdoor party. And this show would, like, show, like, drunk people acting all crazy and stuff like that. To me, hey, man, if you come to my bar and I get you drunk, I'm fully responsible for you.
Yeah.
Your stupid behavior, everything that happens. But that's not what ever happens in these things. The other guy, 86 that night, he's a bartender at the Buffalo Wild Wings down the street. And I've had some other problem with him before. The exact same thing where I go, you're wasted, man. You're wasted. And he said, I only had 1 or 2 drinks today. And he's wasted. And this guy comes in every 2 or 3 weeks on Sundays, never buys anything. He sits there for a little while with a friend or something, and then they leave, and then they'll come back, and he never buys it. He did that same thing today, and he said, I had 1 drink, and this guy is falling over. Tell me, man, why do you hate me so much? What did I do to you? That's what he said. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I was like, you do not know how to conduct yourself when you're drinking alcohol. This fucking guy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I remember once there's like a white meth head that hangs out or outside of the parking lot sometimes.
Yeah.
At least back when I was working there, and you guys were telling me, okay, he can be at the edge, but if he tries to come next to the door, you have to tell him to get off the property because he's over there like, you know, like, and he starts to come towards the property. So I walk out to meet him because I don't want him to get close to the door.
Yeah.
And I have my mace, right, but I try to have it concealed, and but it's ready to go, and I say, hey man, you need to go, you can't be here. And then he sees that my hand is prepped, and he goes, are you fucking concealing a weapon on me? I'll fucking kill you, motherfucker. And then he walks away, and while he's walking away, he's pointing at me and going, I'll fucking kill you. And then but he's like, and then I see him walk all the way across the street to the abandoned Sizzler, and he just goes behind that.
Damn, you know that's rough when you just gotta hide out behind the abandoned Sizzler.
I know, pobrecito.
You know, Sizzler's not as cheap as you think it was.
I rarely went to Sizzler.
Sizzler was big time for my family when we were growing up.
Yeah.
We go once or twice a year.
We were a hometown buffet family.
I think that's just a age difference. Because when I was little, hometown buffets came on the scene when I was like 16 or 17 years old.
Oh, yeah.
But there was a Sizzler right by the West Covina Mall next to our original video store, Electric Video, where we would rent a VCR before we actually got one as a family.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. They used to come in like little suitcases.
Whoa.
Yeah, you would rent it for like $20 for like 3 days.
Holy shit, I never even knew this existed.
Yeah, VCRs used to be like $400. And so I think that maybe 10 or $15. That for 20 sounds too much. But you'd go to that and you rent videos. Before videos, they didn't used to be like $20. They didn't make that many of them because people wouldn't buy them for a home library. You would simply rent them.
Right.
Top Gun was the first one that was $19.99.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So these VHSs, if you lost one, like if I rented one from Electric Video and I lost Poltergeist 2, you would literally had to pay $200 for this thing.
Are you fucking kidding?
That's real. That's how VHS stuff was. And this was right next to the Sizzler. And we would get the buffet. We would never get steak and shrimp, but you can get the all-you-can-eat buffet, which is a little kid. I still think that all-you-can-eat buffet at Sizzler is like pretty great.
That's crazy, Steve. I grew up, when I was a kid in the 90s, we just had tons of VHSs at home.
I know.
By that point.
No.
It was just like VHS. I mean, Julia, it was the same with you, right? It was just like you had in like a little like movie thing. It was like just a bunch of random VHSs.
It did not used to be like that. And I must have been 7, 8 years old. So that was like 85, 86, 87.
Oh,
yeah.
these early days.
Yeah, before you, my bride, even entered the world.
Yeah. Wow.
My little bride.
Yeah,
my little child bride.
And way before I was born. I wasn't even a sperm
When
in
were
my
you born?
dad's
What
ball
year?
sack. 92.
That's not that bad.
No.
I'm seeing kids all the time with a thing. And I'm looking, and yeah, like even an older person that comes to the bar now is like 96. I'm like, oh, that's not bad. Because that's 27 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. That's an older person who comes to the bar for you?
Dude, a girl turned 21 on Sunday. I mean,
Wow.
so much crazy shit happened on Sunday. And I was by myself.
That's crazy.
So these girls, they look young. A couple of them very cute, too. And then I checked their ID, and they were all 22, 21.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one, she's like, and she's the one, it's my birthday, the crown on. She's a cute chick, too. And she, like, gives it to me. It's literally 2 minutes before midnight. And she turns 21 at midnight.
Yeah.
And I'm at the bar. And I was like, well, I guess we'll just wait. I was like, by the time I get around the bar, you're going to be 21. And so I paused the music. And I said, we did a 15-second countdown. And I was
That's
like,
nice.
14, 12. And she was like, ah! Her friends. And that was very cute. They didn't let her pay for anything.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, they got green tea shots and Mexican candy shots. What did you, I knew you when you turned 21. What did you do for your 21st?
I had a big bash at All Stars Lanes in Eagle Rock at the bowling alley. And there's a bar with karaoke inside. And a bunch of comics showed up. You may have been there. I don't remember because I was super drunk. I had a ribbon on and like a birthday hat. And it said birthday boy.
Yeah.
And random strangers at the bar were buying me shots. I had vodka, tequila, rum, beer. I was just fucking wasted. I remember Chase Bernstein was there. Devin Blake was there. Several other people.
If I wasn't there, it's just because I had to work.
Yeah.
It must have been a Thursday or Friday.
Probably. But you may have been there though. But I remember I ended up in a gutter outside the bowling alley after it had closed. I just kind of blacked out, and then I came to, and I was rolling around in the gutter, and then a bunch of people were taking pictures of me and yelling at me as if it was a photo shoot.
Yeah.
And I had like my birthday boy ribbon, and I was like, yeah, like in the gutter, and they were like, pose baby, and I was just like, and then like Devin Blake like let me like crawl into his car, and he just like took me to get a burger and just like watched me as I like sobered up, and it took hours to sober up.
That's nice of Devin.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great first birthday. Didn't pay for a goddamn thing.
Good.
Yeah.
I was still a pastor, so I remember my girlfriend Melissa. We couldn't have a big celebration because I was a pastor, and so we got a 6-pack of beer, and we like parked in some parking lot.
Yeah.
And I lived with other Christian guys too, and I tried to drink beer like Bud Light, and the second one I threw up.
Yeah. The second one?
Yeah, the second Bud Light I had, I was like, I like threw up. I was like, it's too disgusting. It's too disgusting. So we went back, and I got this Gordon's raspberry vodka, and I probably drank half of it. And I was just so drunk, and she took me behind APU, or like around behind APU.
Yeah.
Just like this. There was just like a parking lot, and I was just running around.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like running, like, just so drunk.
It's so funny when you hit these milestones as a young adult. You're so excited to now be an adult, but you're acting like the smallest child. You know?
Well, I think that's one of the fucked up things about becoming an adult is you just can't. There's so much you can't do for so long, and then when you get in your 20s, you can do everything, and then you spend like. I'm speaking just for myself too. I know there's smart people who have it together, but then you just spend doing whatever you want, and then you realize, oh, you can't do that.
No, you can't.
You have to draw it in. But it's still weird to me that I could technically go to a bar right now and go get drunk.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But on some level, do you still feel like a child, and that you're just in this big robot suit?
I think the only thing I still feel like that's hard for me to not do is food stuff.
Yeah.
Because I've set my life up where I generally like what I'm doing most of the time. I like who I'm spending my time with. But food, I don't know. It's just so... And there's some comedian we just saw. I reposted on the Chatterbox thing. But she's like... It's like we're designed to fail with food. It's not like it's like in this time, in this place, the offerings we have at all times, it's like a losing battle.
Yeah.
If you have any problems like that with it's generally pretty cheap. It's the tastiest stuff they've ever had in all of mankind.
Right.
That we're kind of set up and failed to lose with this stuff. But even that, now that I got a baby, and diabetes is chasing me down.
You feeling those tingles in your toes, Daddy? You feeling that?
I know I was pre-diabetic before. That's what they kind of say to everyone.
Yes, yeah.
But once I started drinking, now I'm kind of worried. So I'm trying to pull it way back for before my next doctor stuff.
Truly, don't get the diabetes because also it does other stuff to your body than besides, you may get a limb amputated. There's other.
Oh yeah. No, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should just get into those like what is it, like Soylent? Like just drink those like nutritional shakes, and that's it.
So just switch to shakes.
Just what?
Just switch to shakes.
Just switch to only shakes. Yeah. I think that's what you should do. Or you could do what I did in my 20s to keep young and hot and trim, which is eat whatever you want and then just throw it all up immediately after into a bag, tie that bag up and keep it in your closet, and then when you get 12 of them, then you throw them out. You should do that.
Let's end the episode on what the white woman that loved rap, what she said to me.
What did she say to you?
I mean, this is a surprisingly sweet pussy.
What's her name? What's her rap name?
I don't remember her name now.
Okay.
So I was like, it was so sweet.
Yeah.
I started eating it, and I was like, And I looked up at her, and she's like, tastes like peaches, right? And it did. Thank you for watching Horn Dawgs. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Give us a rating. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We love you. You can find Jonathan at Jonathan Cerda Rowell.
Don't find me. Don't search for me. Don't come for me.
You find me at Hernia. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.